Guess what? It's time for your daily message, and today we're going to be using the Gilded Reverie Lenormand deck. And the way that I have this video set up is we have several different messages here, and then we have the end outcome over here, which is the House, which is a very positive card. So if you listen to the guidance here, you will have a positive outcome, so you may want to pay attention to this particular reading. All right, let's get into it. So, first of all, you have been doing a lot of work. Whether you realize it or not, whether you think you're doing enough or not, you have been doing a lot of work. This work could be tangible in terms of action items that you're doing or whatever priorities you are focusing on, or it could be spiritual work. Either way, whatever it is that you're doing, it is lighting up your energy, it is opening up your channels, it is allowing you to manifest your desires much more easily and quickly. Even if you haven't seen the results, your energy absolutely is changing and good things are coming. Here with the clouds, your superpower may be the darkness. It may be the issues in your life, the traumas in your life. It may be the things that you are struggling with. Somehow those things are giving you a lot of power. Somehow those things you're able to work with in a way that brings a brand new day, that brings really positive outcomes. You may be somebody who is very good at working with dark energies and transmuting them into light energies in order to bring about really good outcomes. There's also someone in your life who has been giving you a message. Have you been paying attention to that message? If you have been paying attention to that message, have you been following that directive? My feel is that whatever this message is, if it has already come into your life, or when it does come into your life, you will know that there's something about it, because it may be a message that you have thought about or a direction that you have thought about on your own in the past. And so it's coming up again, and it's something to pay attention to. Now, some of you may hear this guidance and may be getting these messages, but for some reason, even though you know it's a good direction, you're not really taking action and you don't know why. It's like, I know this would be really good for me. I know this is a really good direction for me. Why am I not moving? And here's the answer to that question. A lot of times, whenever we feel like we're supposed to be doing something and then we don't do it, we end up beating ourselves up. And then we just create this long cycle of beating ourselves up, not doing it, beating ourselves up, not doing it, and we're not able to figure out how to get out of that cycle. Well, here's how to get out of that cycle. If you're not going to be doing the action items that you're supposed to be doing, instead of feeling guilty about it the entire time, just decide that, you know what, it looks like I'm not doing it, so I guess I'm not going to do it, and instead do something fun, or at least enjoy your procrastination. If you're able to do that, you will get yourself out of the cycle where you beat yourself up for procrastination, because now you're having fun with it, and when you have fun, it releases any kind of tension in your energy, and it basically ends up doing what we have already done here. It ends up working on our energy in positive ways and creating positive potentials, even though we think we're doing the exact opposite of what we should be doing. But spirit doesn't really operate in terms of actions. It does, obviously, it inspires action through us, but it doesn't beat us up whenever we don't do something. Instead, it sees, you know what, this is just not the right timing. And if we can accept that there's some benefit to us procrastinating, then we let go of that hate in ourselves, then we let go of this attachment to I should be doing something better than I am, and then perpetuating that cycle, and we allow ourselves to leave that cycle and start actually taking action. So the question here to ask yourself is, who are you being loyal to? If you're beating yourself up for not doing something, are you being loyal to yourself? The answer is no. My feel is no, the answer is no. So if you want to be loyal to the messages, if you want to be loyal to the actions that you're taking, to the commitment, to whatever activities or goals you have, you must first be loyal to yourself, because being loyal to yourself through fun and play is being loyal to your goals as well. When you're loyal to yourself, you're loyal to your goals. Now, some of you may have discovered something. It could be, again, it's a routine is my feel, but it could be anything. But if it's a routine, it could be tangible. It could be like, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my to-do list, and I'm going to prioritize that to-do list, and I'm going to work on those priorities. For others of you, that routine could be something of a spiritual nature. The first thing I'm going to do every day, or the first chance I get every day, I'm going to align my spirit. I'm going to make sure that I am right in my heart and in my soul. Whatever it is, this is the key. Now, whenever we find something that's truly magical for us, again, whether it's tangible, whether it's spiritual, we sometimes can allow ourselves to get distracted because we found something so perfect, and sometimes our mind can't really accept that for long periods of time. So we end up getting distracted, or we end up overanalyzing the situation and thinking, I wonder if I can create this routine and understand why it works and how to make it better and how to make sure that I never get distracted. And we get overly analytical, and then we kind of lose touch with whatever this perfect thing is. I don't know if any of you guys ever found some kind of manifestation process maybe in your past, or some way of living in your past that really, really worked for you, or some way of achieving your goals or being productive that really worked for you in the past, and then somehow you let it go, and then years later you're like, oh my goodness, I was like so good at what I was doing. I don't know why I ever dropped that methodology. Well, for some reason, that is what the mind sometimes tends to do. And it is caused by allowing the self to be distracted, and it is caused by overanalyzing the process and kind of beating it to a pulp until it doesn't mean anything to us anymore. So whatever key you have found, keep yourself from getting distracted from it. Keep yourself from overanalyzing. How do you do that? You simply just do the process. Just do the process. Don't question it. Don't try to solve it. Don't try to go down layers. Just do the process. And that's it. Just leave it there. And whatever understanding you want will come in its own time, but don't rush the process. Don't rush the process, guys. All right. The other message here for some of you is that some of you are wanting to move forward, but you may be scared of what will happen if you move forward. Also, this is saying that a lot of you have a lot of power, and it's important for you to connect to that power. You already have it, and you may already be feeling it. That feeling is not false. It is true. You have a lot of power. Sometimes we want to move forward and we're scared of that because we're not sure how that's going to be received by others. And I can kind of speak to this from a personal level where, there's always that saying that says, it's lonely at the top, right? When you're successful, it's lonely. And I've always kind of understood that on a mental level. I could see that, when you move up in a company, for example, there's not a lot of people that you can necessarily talk to because most of them report to you, and they're not necessarily going to give you an honest answer. They're going to give you the answer that's going to save their job. And you can't necessarily be friends because sometimes there are, boss boundaries and things like that need to be established. And, it can be lonely at the top, and there are fewer positions up there. And so there's fewer people you can relate to. So it's only at the top. And I understood this on an intellectual level, but it's only been the past few years that I've really understood this on an emotional level and in my personal life, where when you are successful, sometimes people look down on that or they hate you for that. And of course, it has nothing to really do with you. It has to do with their own insecurities. And sometimes people don't understand that you can't really get very far if you hate the thing that you want. So if you are, let's say, wanting to have a relationship, and then every time you see one, it makes you feel bad. And you're just like, well, why does that person get to be in a relationship? They're not even that great of a person. I'm so much more loving. Well, that's not really going to get you the relationship. Being grateful for them having their relationship and hoping that it works out for them and blessing their relationship, that's really what's going to bring the same to you, because what you put out there is also what you receive. And that's the same with success as well. Is, a lot of people look up to those who have a lot of abundance, and they think, they didn't really earn that, or they must be greedy or something like that. Especially because society sometimes tells us that, the more money somebody has, maybe the meaner that they are. And that's the case sometimes, but every person is individual and different. And some people become more generous when they're more abundant. That's definitely a reality for me. The less money that I have coming in, honestly, the stingier I am. The more money that I have coming in, because I know that there's a lot of flow, the more easily I give away my money, the more expensive things that I buy for those that I love, the more often I buy things for those that I love, the more at ease I am with letting people borrow money and things like that. So this can be why, if you're wanting to move forward and you're feeling the power in your body, you may also be hesitating to do that. And, environment is very important. The environment that you're in and the people that you're surrounded with is very important. It can very much affect your mentalities, but environment isn't everything. At the end of the day, you're the one with the power. So creating some kind of barrier between, how other people are and what they think of you, and separating that from what you think of yourself, that's really important. That's an important message for you if you're really wanting to be successful and do that despite your environment. If you can't currently leave your environment, you can still do it. It can be harder at first because you are taking on some of their insecurities and it makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells or like you're trapped or like maybe you shouldn't be as successful. And then a lot of different beliefs start coming into your mind. But just be aware of that. Just now that you know that, you can be aware of that and you can choose something different. You can choose to believe in yourself even if others don't want to believe in you. Environment is definitely an important factor, but it's not the only factor, and it's certainly not the most important factor. The most important factor is what you decide to think, what you decide to believe. So believe in yourself, release anything that keeps you from doing that, and what will happen if you follow this guidance? You will find your sense of home. It will happen in your external reality, but even more so, it's going to happen in your internal reality. You're going to feel a sense of peace. You're going to feel a sense of comfort. And this feeling of home within the self, within your soul, is going to be so much more satisfying than any kind of similar feelings you can get from anybody else in your life. So this may seem like, yeah, like that's great and all. I'd love to have peace in myself, but also it'd be really great if other people could support me. But I'm telling you that this is going to be worth way more to you than anything that anybody else can provide in the same breath. So that is the message for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Also, if you guys would like a personalized private reading, go ahead and check out the description box. You can look at my Etsy shop and you can see that I have over 500 sales and I have getting close to 200 5-star reviews just on Etsy. And I've been reading prior to my Etsy shop too. So yeah, if you guys would like a reading, go ahead and check that out. And I will see you in the next video, and that is your daily message.